only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Go hard, or go home. 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 Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home. Yeah, these championship rings on my hands now. In my head I'm top 10, yeah, that's hands down. You a squad, now you're looking man down. Funny how foes turn to friends now. Drive a race car like a Atari now. Call filling up, I need product again. Treat the business like a playground, might slide on you. Do me wrong, might slide on you. Do a backflip, cause I'm mad rich. I'm the definition of what that is. Go hard, or go home. 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 Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home. I'm a warrior, I go back to back, then go back to back. If I top the top, then a double back, and I'm topping that. Yeah, I beat my own records. Yeah, I gotta get money fetish. Same team, I don't set trip. Never dull, this electric. Went and put the Vicks on my toes. Me and bro, that's the give and go. Stay 100, end zone. Keep them coming. I know. I won't flood my wrist, no, I'm not dumb like that. No. I just wanna give my mama 100 racks. Go hard, or go home. 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 Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard.
Whoa, what's going on? Welcome to the bottom line.
Bottom line.
That guy over there is Canteen. We're here to chop it up. Talk a little sports with you. Go ahead and like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. We'll put the comments up just to put them up right now. See if anybody want to comment right now.
Yes,
but hey, we're going to chop it up. Talk a little bit of baseball, a little bit of football, a lot of football, college and the NFL. Welcome to the show. It's time to go hard or go home, baby. The bottom line.
Go home, yes, sir.
Let's go. Episode 30. Got about 616 members in the Facebook group. We appreciate you so much. So I hope you continue to like, share, do all that. Contribute there on the Facebook page. You got the Facebook page. You can put, some stuff you like, your team or whatever. Do a little trash talk there. That's fine. But hey, we're just having a little fun talking sports, and that's it, man. So I'm 2-0. I dominated you last week, 2-0 in the fantasy football. I dominated you. Yeah.
Pretty much slaughtered me, man. There are no words to say about last week's. I think I put up 140 something points.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Really embarrassing, and yeah.
But anyway, it's fun. Doing the bottom line fantasy football. I got 2 leagues. I'm 2-0 in both the leagues. There's a league over there in our unit. They have a Signal League or something. I'm 2-0 over there. Yeah, I got different players over there, but I'm still trying to get it done. But yeah,
who's your QB? Who's your QB?
Patrick Mahomes.
What defense you got? The Saints?
I got the Bills defense.
Oh my God! Oh yeah, you gonna dominate? No doubt.
Yeah, the Bills defense. Yeah, Bills. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. It's fun. So yeah, we're doing that. Maybe next year you guys can participate to that fantasy football league next year. Thanks for everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. Got our Twitch guy over there. Appreciate you, guy on Twitch. Give you a shout out. Or gal. I don't know who's watching, but I always get that Twitch guy, man, coming on, watching. But we appreciate you. So, excuse me. I got something in my throat. So let's talk a little baseball. Major League Baseball is going to go in the postseason pretty soon. But making the story right now, or doing the rounds, as far as the storyline, Aaron Judge, 60 home runs, in position also to win the Triple Crown, getting the batting average, home runs, and the RBIs. He's currently batting .316. I think he's at just under .316 now. He's got 60 homers, 128 RBIs. I think he might have got 2 more the other night, but that's what I had as of Friday, or early Friday. I can't remember. But anyway, so yeah. He's been batting .371 since the All-Star break. Wow. Detroit Tigers, Miguel Cabrera, if you want to say in Spanish, was the last to kind of win that Triple Crown in 2012. So with about 12 games left, will Judge get that Triple Crown? Do you think he's going to get it, Canteen? He's pretty close. I mean, homers, he's going to get it. RBIs, he's kind of close, but he's still got a good lead. But it's that batting average. It's a close race between him, Xander Bogaerts, and Luis Arias. It's really close. What are you thinking?
Man, I think he has a really, really, really strong possibility, man, of getting it, man. I mean, he's had, man, his team. I was trying to find the standings for his team at this point. I'm trying to look for Detroit. I think he has a strong possibility of being able to capture all 3 of those. Yeah. I think the Yankees are on top in the East, 92-58, and he basically bet on himself. He didn't get that big. He's going to get a big contract now, especially if he wins that Triple Crown. He's going to get a big contract. Yeah.
So right now, let's see. They have.
Yeah. Right now, the Yankees they're going to win the division.
Yeah, in the East, yeah.
Yeah. Next team behind is the Rays. The Rays, 8.5 games behind, and that's
Toronto
the
right there.
Mets look pretty good too. 96-56, and Cardinals.
Houston Nationals is 99-53. They're looking pretty good this year, as well as the Mets have a decent record. Atlanta's not doing too bad. They're second place there in the East, National League East.
And 2.5 games. Yeah.
The Dodgers, man, 104-47, man. They look super strong.
Super strong. Man,
so they've already clinched the division.
Horrible. Yeah, I mean, nobody's going to come back and win 16 games. Those teams are like 16 games behind some of them.
Yeah, but I'm kind of rooting for Judge to win that Triple Crown. It hadn't been done since 2012, so we'll see what happens. Let us know what you think. Do you think Judge is going to get that Triple Crown? He's going to be able to get it this year? We'll see what happens. It's that batting average. The other day he went an over, and then they walked him 3 times. So a lot of people are going to try and walk him. So he may not. I don't know if he can get it if they keep walking him. But we'll see what happens.
The player. Yeah.
All right. Let us know what you think. So we're going to do NBA, just a little bit of NBA. NBA is going to get started soon. Have they started their preseason? Not yet, have they?
I think they started practice off beginning of October, maybe, I believe.
Yeah. So I think preseason starts pretty soon. Because I know they start having games in November or October, November, something like that. So
now they start preseason started this week, Friday.
Oh, okay. So preseason starts next week or this week. So little preseason games, but the biggest news right now is the Boston Celtics, Ime Udoka getting suspended apparently for the whole year. The Celtics addressed it on Friday morning for the first time, announcing that he would be out for the whole season. Udoka allegedly had improper relationships with another Celtics employee. And he admitted to the transgression and apologized. At first, it was consensual. There's a lot of reports coming out, something about he had an improper relationship with a married woman, and then he had unwanted advances to another woman. Anyway, so the Celtics' Joe Mazzulla has been tapped to replace Udoka as an interim head coach this year. There's really no plans after this year. So the Celtics have made it clear that they haven't made any long-term decisions with Udoka's future. So what are your thoughts here? I mean, that's a mess.
All right, man. I know it's so. You know, I agree with the policies and procedures that the Celtics have in place. They could have went about this in a better or in a more professional manner, because when you look at it, on the coach, right, all the same is, but it's two parties involved. Consensual thing that went between. The limelight is on him by him being the head coach. They're not really shedding any light, but both of them are wrong. Celtics organization, I would have completely fired him, terminated him, and let him off the hook. With this hook, you're gonna hit his pay and all his incentives and stuff really, really hard. And what's the likelihood of you bringing him back next season?
Yeah, it's kind of rough. I mean, I don't know. You're kind of stuck in between a little bit, because he was basically a rookie head coach, but took him to the finals. I mean, some place the Celtics hadn't been in a while. I kind of feel like if this has been a guy who had been there for a long time, and he was, faltering a little bit, and they hadn't made the finals in a while, or maybe missed the playoffs, maybe they let him go. But this is a first-year coach. This is his second year. First year, he was outstanding. He made the finals. I mean, I feel like, this wasn't even an NBA thing. This was the team doing this.
A team policy,
Yeah, it was a team policy, which kind of makes sense. I mean, you got a guy, high-ranking guy within the organization, having a relationship with somebody else, a lower-ranking individual on the staff. And so, that can get kind of sticky and kind of, maybe what if that person, people can look at it, that person got special favors, or, different things can come up. I mean, I don't know if that actually came up, but, that's the reason they don't want that kind of, those kind of things happening within the workplace. And a lot of places have these kind of, type of things, even in the Army, fraternization, between, what officer and a enlisted, that kind of thing, because you have the officers who have that more of the power, more of the command type control a lot of times, and then if they're having it with enlisted, they could be seen as showing favoritism and all that kind of stuff. So these kinds of policies exist throughout all organizations, and I don't know, it seems a little harsh. I don't know, it just because it got so much attention. I think that's why they had to go a full year. It feels like they're gonna let him go eventually. They're just not gonna do it right now. I don't know how you bring him back after a whole year out.
Programming, I mean, he can't even be around a team or any of that stuff. So in my eyes, I'm like, just to the organization, go ahead and part ways with this guy. Bring in somebody else that you think or has a capability to the next level. And I mean, Brad Stevens used to coach one, but he said he didn't want any part of the coaching.
Right.
But I'm the health of the organization and the morale and well-being of the team. Just having this guy around, and you're not gonna bring him back.
You think so?
And your man, what?
Yeah,
why?
It's rough. Yeah, it's just I mean, I think he was under Coach Popovich for a long time, and people were trying to give him hey, why hadn't he gotten a job? He should get a chance to get a job, and then he finally got the Celtics job, took him to the finals, and then this happens. It just feels like especially for the Celtics, it feels like a gut punch for the team, having to, where'd you go, Canteen? Having to be able to deal with this in that certain situation. But what happened, man? What are you trying to do to me?
Now somebody had called on my iPad again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just feels like a gut punch to me, is what I was saying, because I mean, they take the Udoka, I think he was under Coach Popovich, and everybody was talking about giving him a chance, to be a head coach, and he finally gets a chance, and then after his first year, this happens. It just feels like he finally got that chance, and now he may not get another one. I don't know. Let us know what you think, but any final thoughts on that?
I mean, I mean, in a perfect world, it makes sense to just terminate this guy so he can move on.
Right. So
do
everybody
other
can
things,
move on.
man. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So we got where's that? So the NBA, so the ESPN and CBS Sports both had their top 100 players. Here's the top 10. I wish I didn't have let me see if I have it here. So maybe I can show it on the screen here. Yeah, here we go. So I'll show it on the screen here too. So let me put it on the screen. So they have their top 10. So we're just going to show the top 10 for ESPN and CBS Sports. They have their top 10 for 2022 season. Let's see if I can show this up here. Give me a second. Yeah, there it is. All right, so ESPN had their top 10. They have Devin Booker at number 10. They have John Morant at number 9. Kevin Durant at number 8. Jason Tatum at number 7. This is the ESPN ranking. LeBron James at number 6. Let's see, number 6. So then this one is Anyway, they have Steph Curry at number 5. We'll stop sharing that. Anyway, Steph Curry at number 5, and then they have Joel Embiid at number 4, Luka Doncic at number 3, and Nikolai Jokic at number 2, and then Giannis Antetokounmpo at number 1. So that's the ESPN top. So then the CBS one, let me see if I can bring that one up too. It's a little easier to scroll through. And so as far as the CBS. So they have, let's share this. So they have Jimmy Butler at number 10, Jason Tatum at number 9, Kawhi Leonard number 8, LeBron James at number 7, Joel Embiid number 6, Luka Doncic number 5, Nikolai Jokic 4, Kevin Durant at number 3, Steph Curry number 2, and Giannis Antetokounmpo at number 1. So both of these lists have Giannis number 1, so I don't know if there's much debate there who's number 1, but the rest of there's a lot of movement between the top 10, whereas ESPN has Steph at 5, and CBS Sports has them at 2, and then CBS Sports has Kevin Durant at number 3, but ESPN has Kevin Durant at number 8. So what are you thinking here? You agree with any of these lists? Either one of these lists agree with you more, or what are you thinking?
All right, man. When you look at his numbers are crazy, man. This guy averaged at least 30 points a game. 30 points a game, shooting at least 55% from the field goal. 12 rebounds, 6 assists. Even touch him, he's number 1, hands down.
Hands down.
And if I had to go
number 2, debate there. Yeah.
Number 2, I would leave Jokic at 2. Jokic's a pretty decent guy. I believe him.
You like Jokic. Okay.
Yeah, I would move Curry up to 3.
Okay.
I would go
So
Curry.
you're going off ESPN's list?
Yeah.
They have Curry at 2.
Yeah, I'm going off ESPN. No, so I'm going off of the ESPN one. So I would leave my 1 and 2.
You like that list better? Okay.
Move Curry up to 3.
Right.
Move Luka and go LeBron 5.
Okay. And then the rest is the same. So you like ESPN, the rest of it. So you like Kevin Durant at number 8, and John Morant at number 9, Devin Booker 10.
Yep, leave it just like so.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna say I like CBS Sports better. I think Steph Curry deserves to be number 2 right now. He just won the championship without Kevin Durant, which sometimes people said that he couldn't do it. And just out of sheer score talent, I like Kevin Durant at number 3. So I kind of like the CBS Sports better. I think Jokic is 4. He's won back-to-back MVPs, but he hasn't done much in the playoffs. Luka Doncic on the other side, he's made the playoffs with not a great team, but he's pulled them along with him. So Joel Embiid, I think he's good at 6. He hasn't done much in the playoffs, even though he's done great in the regular season. LeBron James kind of is on his way down. He's become more of a jump shooter. He's attempted more threes in his career the last couple of seasons. So, and then I like 8. I like Kawhi Leonard number 8, even though he didn't play last year. I think Kawhi Leonard is a top 10 player. I think he should be in there. I like Jason Tatum at number 9. So this list is pretty good for me as far as the CBS Sports, but I think I would put John Morant at number 10. and Jimmy Butler at 11, just edging out Jimmy Butler. I think Jimmy Butler's, great. I think he has some limitations as far as scoring. He's not a consistent scorer, but he's a great defender. He's got a lot of grit, a lot of moxie. Especially in the playoffs, he's done really well. But at the same time, he's not a consistent scorer. He's not a true pure scorer. He's kind of inconsistent there. Even though he can in the playoffs, he definitely steps it up. So that's what I would do. I like the CBS Sports one, almost pretty much player for player, except at the end, I would add John Morant instead of Jimmy Butler. That's me. What do y'all think? Let us know what y'all think. What do you think, Canty?
I'm rolling. I said at the end of the day, man, I got to go with Giannis as one, and then like I said, I would keep Luka at 2. And
Luka
like I
at
said,
2. Wow.
Yeah, Luke. No. I think it's Curry 3, Luka 4, and then LeBron.
You said keep the Joker at 2. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's Curry at 3, and then Luka at 4. Yeah, Luka at 5. And like you said, LeBron, he hadn't been a pivotal player down in the paint, man. He shoots jump shots, and I think that's taken away from his game when he needs to drive to the basket more.
Right. And a lot of people will say that he's trying to do that just for the sake of trying to get that scoring title, all-time most points ahead of Kareem. That, that's a quicker way to get there. If you shoot threes and you make more threes, you get there a little faster. But I don't know. At least that's what Skip Bayless says. He says he said he's just going for that scoring, all-time scoring. Because that's his claim to fame now since he can't pass MJ. I don't know. That's one of the arguments. So, all right, let us know what you think as far as the CBS Sports, ESPN. You can look that up online. Let us know what you think. What's your top 10? I like the CBS Sports one pretty much player for player, except for the number 10. I think John Morant would edge out Jimmy Butler by a hair. But Jimmy Butler would probably be number 11 on there. That's just me. All right, so I got a few college football matchups. Let me see. I can probably bring it up here. Let me bring it up here. Take the chat off. Let's see here. Here we go. This one right here. All right, so we got a few games coming up today. A few key games. Clemson versus Wake Forest. Where is that game? Hang on. Here it is right here. Clemson versus Wake Forest. So 7.5 point favorites for Clemson there in Winston-Salem. What are you thinking there? You thinking Wake Forest can give them a chance? They're both 3-0, but Clemson is definitely ranked higher, considered a better team. What are you thinking there?
I think it's gonna be a challenge for Clemson. I trust Dabo Swinney. Kid, got the kid's name, man, for a Hawaiian kid, really good quarterback. To the wire, man. I'm gonna go Clemson. Probably Clemson by 7.
7
points.
So they don't cover
by 7. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That seems fair. I think
close, man.
Let's see. Who did Wake Forest? I seem like I remember them struggling. Who did they struggle against? No, they struggled a little bit against Liberty. So that kind of gives me a pause. Yeah. Liberty played them really close, 37-36. I think Clemson may end up blowing this game open a little bit. Maybe something like 20 points. Yeah, and Liberty gave them a challenge. Clemson has played, Georgia Tech, Furman, and Louisiana Tech. Pretty much blew all them out, which they were supposed to, and they did. I think just by nature that Wake Forest struggled so much with Liberty. I'm not saying Liberty's not a good team, but they should have beat them fairly easily, and they struggled with Liberty. I like Clemson to really blow this game open a little bit, maybe by 10 to 14 points. They end up winning again. Maybe they set up Wake Forest
cover
close. I think they'll cover. I think they'll win by at least 10, possibly 2 touchdowns. I think they're going to open it up a little bit and solidify their place in the top 5 with this win over Wake Forest. All right, so number 20. This is your game. You were talking about this before when we started, man. You were like y'all yelling and screaming about this game. Florida, number 20, playing number 11, Tennessee. What are you thinking? I think I already know, but let me know what you think. Tennessee is a 10.5 point favorite here. What are you thinking here?
Listen, man, they playing at Knoxville. Tennessee fans ruthless. They're gonna bring a packed house crowd. 3:30 kickoff. Man, they probably gonna beat them by at least 3 touchdowns. They're gonna blow
3
Florida
touchdowns.
out.
Oh my gosh.
They're gonna
You're
blow
just
them
a
out.
Florida hater, man. You just a Florida hater. You serious? 3 touchdowns?
Yeah, I'll even bring it close to home for you, man.
Yeah.
Man, Florida played Florida. They beat.
Tennessee?
So hold on, let me pull it up
Tennessee.
for you.
Who did Tennessee? Tennessee beat. They beat Ball State, Pittsburgh, number 17 in overtime, and then they beat Akron. So Tennessee hasn't beaten great teams.
But Florida ain't really beat nobody.
They played number 7 Utah. They beat number 7 Utah, number 20
They
Kentucky.
barely beat Utah. They beat them by a field goal.
And then
they barely South Florida. They barely beat them by 3. So
decent team.
You know they about to get. They're going up against Tennessee, man. This will be their second SEC game, man. SEC game. Conference.
I don't know. To me, Tennessee is a little bit overrated. I think Tennessee is a little bit overrated. I think this is going to be a lot closer than. I think they'll definitely cover. I think Florida covers. I think this is going to be a field goal game, maybe. I think this will be a field goal.
When you look at
Tennessee, probably.
When you look at Tennessee, man, Tennessee blew out Ball State. They beat them by 49 points. They barely beat. They beat Pittsburgh.
Exactly.
34-27, but they blew out Akron, which Akron has a powerhouse or anything like that. But at the end of the day, man, I'm going with Tennessee on this one, man.
Yeah, but by 2 touchdowns? I don't know. I think this is going to be a close game. I think this will be a field goal game. I think this game will go down to the end, to the wire. Tennessee will probably pull it out. Maybe they get a late touchdown. But we'll see what happens. I think Florida plays them close, and this will be a tight game. I wouldn't be surprised if Florida wins. I'm going to go with Tennessee, but it's going to be a close one. I get to Tennessee wins by.
You don't think they'll cover?
They win by 4. No, I don't think they cover. I don't think they win by 10 points or let more than 10 points. So, yeah, I don't think they cover. All right. So Arkansas versus A&M, big game in the SEC. Let's see, where is it at? There it is. All right, right here, 6:00 tonight, the ESPN late game. A&M is -2 at home. They're in Arlington Stadium. They're in AT&T Stadium. What are you thinking for this game? A&M's had their struggles. Arkansas has had their struggles as well. I mean, what are you thinking?
Opened up against Sam Houston State. They blew them out, 31 points. They got shot by App State, and then they barely squeaked by Miami. A&M.
A&M. Okay. And Miami's a good team, though.
Yeah. So Arkansas's football, man. Arkansas, they blew out them. They beat Cincinnati by 7. They beat South Carolina by 14.
Right.
Barely beat a Missouri State team. They beat them by 11?
11. Yeah, it's not barely, but yeah,
this game here, they said 2.
Yeah, A&M is a 2-point favorite.
I think it'll be a close game.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Arkansas, man. Maybe 6.
You can go with Arkansas winning the game outright. Okay. I think A&M's they play really good at home. I think they need this win to kind of get back in the conversation, get back into the top 10. I don't think this will get them into the top 10, but I think this will get them back in the conversation to move up into the upper echelon. Because weren't they ranked in the top 5 or 6 or something early in the season? And so that loss that they had to Appalachian State really killed them. Appalachian State just surprised them. They shocked them. It was terrible. It was an awful loss for them. So that's why they're barely in the top 25. But I think A&M's going to bounce back. They changed quarterbacks. I think they're going with this other guy. I can't remember who he played for. He played for another team. You know the quarterback I'm talking about?
Not that I was thinking about this other kid.
He played for another team. I think it's Max Johnson is his name. I thought he played for Georgia or somebody else in the SEC. But he seemed to be a better solution for them at quarterback. So I think that they're gonna, or maybe it was Blake Boast. I'm trying to remember who played. They switched quarterbacks in that game. I'm trying to remember who they switched to. He was a thin guy, and I like the running back. A-Chain. A-Chain's a really good running back for them. So I think they go back to a little more run game. The quarterback they played last week, he was. Let me see if I can. Maybe I can just find it. Who's the quarterback that played last week against Miami? Let's see here. Stats. Oops. Go back. Oh, here we go. Click here. All right. So yeah, who's that quarterback, man? Y'all let me know in the comments. You know.
What's quarterback? Who?
It was Max Johnson. Yeah, Max Johnson. I guess A&M. They played him instead, and he did really well. I think he's going to be their solution going forward. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to say that A&M pulls this out, and it's probably going to be a 1 to 3 point game. I think it's a close game. A&M plays really well at home. I think they win this game outright. Probably a field goal game, maybe something like that. And I think they beat Arkansas today. All right. Anyway, so any other games you want to look at today besides our games? Any other games hit you want to kind of touch on?
I think you already hit the big ones, man. For the day.
All right. So then you guys. Okay. So then you guys play. Where are you guys at here? Let me see.
Just pass us.
Y'all play an early game?
Yeah, they're about to kick off. They should be.
Are they about to kick off? There it is. Yeah, Kent State versus Georgia. You guys are like 45-point favorites. So, any thoughts on this game? I mean, I know you guys expect to win this game against Kent State. So I don't think there's going to be any surprises here. Looks like you guys already scored a touchdown.
Yeah, I think we just scored, man, and good confidence. I have a lot of respect
for these teams away. I mean, come on.
I have a lot of respect for Georgia. Paid them $1.9 million to play this game. And Kent State has been the highest school over $5.2 million when it comes to going to play bigs. Because I know they played Texas A&M or somebody not too long ago. So they played us, Texas A&M, or whatever. Man, I think Georgia, it's going to be a blowout, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say we're going to cover. I don't know if we'll cover the 40.
I don't think you'll cover. I don't think you'll cover.
Because I know we played Sanford. I don't even think we can cover the spread against Sanford.
Yeah.
It'll be a blowout. We'll win, but it'll be a blowout, man. And you know, for right now for Georgia, man, our next biggest hurdle, man, is we got Auburn. No, we got Missouri. We got Missouri next week. We got Missouri, then we got Auburn.
Is Missouri really a challenge?
And then we go down. And we're gonna monkey stomp them, man. Like I told you, nobody's gonna beat us this year.
Missouri lost to Kansas State. Kansas State, man. So, I mean, they got blown out by Kansas State. So, Missouri's not going to give you a whole lot of challenge, I don't think. I mean, they blew out Louisiana Tech. I don't think your next challenge for you guys is
to Tennessee.
Probably Florida. I think Florida is your first actual game where somebody's going to give you a game. I think it's Florida. And then, of course, Tennessee. So, you're going to have some back-to-back games there. And then your next big game is Kentucky. And then once you get past Kentucky, you guys are pretty much done. I mean, you guys are
home
set.
free.
You might get undefeated. If you're undefeated by the time you get to Kentucky, and if you get past Kentucky, I think you guys will be undefeated. I mean, you got Georgia Tech, so we'll see what happens. You got kind of a weak schedule, so to speak.
Schedule?
It's a weak schedule. Florida, Tennessee, come on now.
We don't have any say-so in the schedule, man.
You don't have to play Samford. You don't got to play Samford. I mean, you did play Oregon.
Those are non-conference.
I'm just saying.
We rotate playing teams. We rotate playing the other teams from the West. Every 2 years we switch out.
Come on.
So people are like, why you don't play Alabama? Because we play them every 2 years in the regular.
Well, I get it. Alabama does the same thing. I mean, why are you going to play too many tough non-conference and then have a chance for a loss? I get it. But I'm just saying, if this is your schedule in the conference, you're not playing anybody good in the East, or you guys are in the West, or what is it? Yeah, the West. You don't play anybody. Yeah, you don't play any tough teams from the West. You know, you're playing with Auburn.
And that's what I'm trying. saying what
Mississippi
I'm
State.
telling you.
But I'm just saying, if you know you're not going to play any, I would play a tougher non-conference to give yourself some chance. But we'll see. I think you guys are going to be. I think Tennessee may have, or Florida. Tennessee or Florida will be your toughest game, and then Kentucky, if they continue on the pace they're on. Kentucky has struggled a little bit as well. They're number 8 right now, but I think it feels like they're trying to keep Kentucky in the top 10, so that way when you play them, you get more credit. You know, that's what I'm thinking.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean they beat Florida by 10 points. They struggled a little bit against Florida. Florida got credit for playing them tight, so that's anytime a SEC team does well against another SEC team, they give them credit and put them in the rankings. So so Kentucky got Ole Miss, and then they got Tennessee as well before they play you guys. So if you both of you guys are undefeated at that point, I mean,
and Kentucky don't play nobody today. Northern Illinois? Are you serious?
They played Ole Miss. They played Florida.
No.
They haven't played anybody.
Ole Miss, South Carolina.
To be honest,
same setup as that we do, man.
Their schedule's probably a little weaker than your schedule, even if that's possible.
Right.
But yeah. So when you guys play, that might be for the. Are they in the East with you guys? Yeah. So that might be for the Eastern Championship when you guys play. That might be for the East to win the East there. So we'll see what happens. It should be fun. All right,
bro. I just told you.
I'm just saying.
Listen, man.
When y'all play Alabama in the championship, that'll be a true test for you guys. I think Kentucky has a good team this year, and I think you guys have a chance, to win that game. So we'll see what happens. So, but you got something else to say, man? Come on, let it go.
Man, we number 1, bro. For a 3-0.
Number one. I don't know. I don't know if y'all deserve to be number 1, but we'll see. All right.
Who deserves to be number?
I think we'll see. We're about to talk about that because you know what time it is, Canteen.
My top 5 contenders. And I'm ready.
Here we go. It's time for Canteen's College Contenders. Right here, baby. Canteen's College Contenders, brought to you by none other than Canteen himself. Go ahead, Canteen. What do you got?
Number 1, hands down, Georgia football team. One of the best offensive Stetson defenses came back even stacked. We're number 1 for a reason, bro. 3-0. We're gonna maybe repeat for a national championship at this point. 2.
Okay.
I gotta go with Alabama. Has a strong offense, strong defense. Good. So they're my number 2 team. My 3 teams should be Clemson. They're playing really good. Dabo has his team really put together, well put. They got against Wake Forest, and as I told you, maybe 3-6. All right, my 4 team is should be Ohio State tonight. If Ohio State has the ability to really beat Wisconsin, then they'll be a contender. And last but not least, Michigan. Michigan looks really good as well, man. I think Michigan got a bye this week, but my top 3, I don't think there's gonna be much changing around, but that's what I like right now.
All right, that's Canteen's College Contenders, brought to you by the Bottom Line Sports.
What do you think?
Yeah, all right. So here I go, Canteen. Nice segment there, Canteen. I appreciate you. I think that to me, Alabama should be number 1. They were number 1 last year. They haven't lost a game. I don't think they deserve to be taken out of the number 1 spot just because they had a little hiccup where they struggled a little bit against Texas. I think Texas is a solid team this year. They're ranked now. I think they're a solid team. I think they shouldn't get just because they were unranked at the time. They played them on the road. Played an actual good non-conference team, unlike Georgia. You guys played Oregon. I give you that. But anyway, so I'm just saying. I think they haven't done anything to lose in the 1 spot. I think Alabama should be 1. You guys should be 2. And then I kind of agree with the AP poll and the coaches poll. Ohio State should be number 3 at this time, and Michigan should be 4, and Clemson should be 5. I don't think Clemson has done enough to push them up to the top 3. Clemson, I mean, if they beat Wake Forest, I think that might move them up to one of the other top teams above them in the top 4. It won't be Michigan because Michigan's not playing, but I'm just saying I think that Clemson hasn't really. They played Georgia Tech, they played Furman, they played Louisiana. So this is their first real test against Wake Forest. Their non-conference wasn't very good at all, but they blew everybody away like they were supposed to. If they beat Wake Forest and one of the other kind of struggle or lose, whether it be, I don't think Alabama's going to lose or you guys are going to lose. So it's going to be, you might have to go a few weeks down the road before Clemson can move up from the number 5. But this is their first good game, and then they play NC State after that. So they got back-to-back tough games the next couple of weeks. If one of the other top 5 teams struggle, then Clemson can move up. But I agree with the AP top 25 coaches poll and the AP. Oh yeah, the AP poll and the coaches poll, which have Ohio State 3, Michigan 4, and Clemson 5. But I think Alabama should be 1 and Georgia should be 2. You guys should be number 2, baby.
Based off of what?
You guys haven't done anything special to warrant it.
So you telling me a team that won the national championship, not playing even better, has put up more numbers than has put up more numbers than any other on our defense, bro?
You haven't played anybody yet. You haven't played anybody.
So you telling me Alabama deserve to be number 1 based off of what?
Yeah, they were number 1. They didn't barely drop down. I mean, you blew out Oregon. Oregon had a hiccup there. So I think that's your only claim to fame is you blew out Oregon, and Oregon has since kind of recovered. They beat BYU and they got Washington State today. So Oregon has recovered a little bit, in that they beat BYU, but I don't know. I think time will tell with Oregon. I think you guys
blew out South Carolina,
Oregon, which ain't any good.
Out of 3 games, Flo.
I think the Oregon game is what put you at number 1. I think the Oregon game is what put you to number 1. And I don't know if you necessarily deserve to hop over Alabama just because Alabama struggled against Texas. Texas was a solid team. Texas was a solid team this year. Everybody hesitated against Texas because, they weren't ranked coming in, but now they're ranked now. And I think that they have a chance to have a good season. So I don't know. I think they were punished too much for having a tough game against Texas. And you guys got the extra credit for beating Oregon the way you did. And that's what put y'all number 1. But I feel like it should have just left Alabama number 1. But it doesn't matter. 1 or 2, it's all the same. All right.
I'm trying.
All right. Let's move on. Let's move on. It's time. Go ahead. Make your point.
I just told you, bro. No, we've only allowed on us in 4 games. What does that tell you? Wait, the truth.
I guess. I don't know.
All right.
It just really got too much credit for being Oregon, so maybe that's what it is.
Man.
All right, it's time for the NFL. Talk a little NFL today. Talk a little about the little games. Talk a few things going on next week. We're going to premiere a new segment that's called NFL Flow Chart. NFL Flow Chart. Going to give you my top 4 teams in the NFC and the top 4 teams in the AFC. Not according to record, not according to division, but according to what I see with my own eyes and what I think is the top 4 in each conference. That will premiere next week. The NFL Flow Chart brought to you by the one and only Flow. All right. So here we go. So let's talk a little NFL here, Canteen. Let's see. Let's bring a couple of stories. We're kind of running up against it. Let's see if we can get to all these stories. We may not get to all of them, but what about Russell Wilson and the Broncos have somewhat underachieved this year? So is this bad coaching, bad Russell Wilson, or both? The Broncos are 1-1. They lost to Seattle. They kind of gave that game away 16-17. and then they barely beat the Texans 16-9. What's your thoughts here? What is this? Bad Russ, bad coaching, or bad both?
I think Russell Wilson's off to a slow start, man.
Okay.
I don't think it's bad coaching. I think it's understanding the system and kind of growing to understand the organization at Seattle. So the game they lost to Seattle, man, that was poor coaching, man.
Yeah,
ball down the field a little bit more, and they could have scored.
How do you not let Russell Wilson go for it on 4th and 5 instead of trying to kick a 64-yarder?
So that's poor coaching on Hackett's behalf. But I don't think Russ is a bad guy. There's some coaching, but I think that they got a tough game tomorrow night. They play the 49ers coming to town, man. So that's gonna be a tough challenge.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of. I think it's mostly the coaching piece. I think
you blame it more on the coaching.
Yeah, man. Give him a few more weeks, man.
Okay. Yeah, I think that Russell has played pretty well. He played pretty well in that Seattle game. He had a couple of hiccups. They were down in the red zone. A couple of fumbles really killed them, and that wasn't necessarily Russell Wilson's fault. He got him down there to inside the 5 a couple of times, and then they just fumbled it. They ran the ball and fumbled it. That wasn't necessarily Russ's fault. They were able to move the ball a little pretty good against Seattle. I think Seattle just was fortunate to come away with a victory that weekend. So I think that's they should have won that game. But they did struggle against the Texans, which gives me pause. People were questioning the coach because he went for it for a 64-yarder, but a 58-yarder he goes for it on 4th down. So you're like, why do you go for it on 54-yarder, but with a 64-yarder you kick the field goal? People are kind of making fun of him because he did that, but you knew that was going to happen, going for a 64-yarder instead of letting Russell try and get you the first down. I think this is more of a coaching thing. I think Hackett's a rookie coach. He's got some things that he needs to work on as far as time management. He should get a guy keeping up with his time management. Hey, what do we do here? How much time do we got? And the guy just giving him the stats, giving him the facts about the clock, about the time and distance, and have some guy just working the clock issues and doing that part of it, and not having him then make last minute decisions as far as when it's tight and you have to do time management as far as the clock. Just have a guy that's watching all that and keeping up with all that. But I don't know. Definitely rookie mistake. So, all right. So, hey, I didn't talk about one thing I didn't talk about is Texas Tech Red Raiders. We didn't talk about my team. We're going to be playing the Longhorns. What do you see there, Kentine, real quick before we move on? I didn't get the chance to look at that.
What's y'all spread on that game?
It's 7 points. We're at home. Let's get that game out of the way because I forgot. But anyway, yeah, we're at home, playing at home, but we're 7-point underdogs. So I don't know. What are you thinking there, real quick? College one.
I'm gonna give y'all a shot, man. I say y'all went by 3.
By 3? Oh, yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
By 3.
Y'all tested out of the top 25. They gone.
Yeah, maybe that's a little bias on your part. You want Texas to lose, so it makes Alabama look bad. But I don't know. I think Texas has a good team. I think for us, since we lost Tyler Shuck, our starting quarterback Donovan Smith has done pretty well, but he's very in the pocket. He just takes too much time trying to decide what he's going to do. It takes a little too much time. That's what gives me a little pause. I think our defense is actually pretty good this year. I think they're going to keep us in the game. Texas has a great running game. And so that's where I think if we can keep the running game in check and keep the game close throughout, we have a chance. But Donovan Smith cannot make any mistakes. He's got 7 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Sometimes he throws a bad pick sometimes. And that's what scares me with Donovan Smith. He's going to throw a bad and he's going to be a pick 6 that gets us in a hole. So I don't think against Texas, we can't make those kind of mistakes. We can't give a pick 6 or give a couple of turnovers on interceptions. So Donovan Smith has played well, but he's made some big mistakes, and sometimes he hesitates in the pocket too much. So that's where I'm kind of at with that. I wish Tyler Shuck was still there. He makes quicker decisions, but I think we're gonna end up losing this game. I'm gonna pull for my Red Raiders, but I'm gonna say we lose by 10, and it's gonna be something like 30-20 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'll be pulling for the Red Raiders. I'll be hoping that we win that game and that I am wrong, but I think we're going to lose. I'm going to give us to 10 points. 10-point loss. Anyway, all right, so let's go move on to the next topic here. So only 11% of NFL teams that start 0-2 have made the playoffs. 11%, so a low percentage if you start 0-2. Which of these teams is most likely to make the playoffs after starting 0-2? So we have the Bengals at 0-2, the Falcons 0-2, Titans 0-2, Raiders 0-2, and the Panthers at 0-2. What are your thoughts? Who do you think can still make or will still make the playoffs in your opinion that started 0-2? Who do you think? Most likely.
Cincinnati, man.
Cincinnati? Okay.
Cincinnati, yeah. When I look at the Bengals, man, cuts, man, but I think they'll bounce back because all the games that they've lost have been close. By 3, they lost to you all by 3, so they ain't really been getting blown out of beaten bad. Right. But I think they'll catch the Jets. I think they'll be able to beat the Jets on the road at MetLife tomorrow.
Okay. So you think the Bengals have the best chance of making a push for the playoff out of that list?
When I look at their division right now, I think Cleveland's on top. I think Cleveland, they haven't won as Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's won only one game. They lost to the Browns.
Right.
And so you got, and the Ravens kind of scare me. I ain't really got much confidence in the Ravens, man. Especially after after the Ravens played last week and come back from that deficit to beat them.
Yeah, but I mean, that was kind of fluky, though, that the Dolphins were able to come back. Because, I mean, Lamar Jackson had an awesome game. He had a great game on the ground and through the air. And I just think it just happened that Miami just had a great fourth quarter and came back. It's kind of one of those anomalies. It just happens, and I don't think it was necessary that Miami's that great. I just think I think they're better than they were in past years, but I just think they got kind of fortunate that they got some of those plays and basically the Ravens gave that game away. So I kind of agree with you as far as the Ravens. I mean, as far as the Bengals, I think they have a good chance. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna say the Raiders have the best chance of making the playoffs.
AFC West.
Yeah, I know it's a tough division, but they got Tennessee this week, and then they got Denver. Those are 2 winnable games for them. They do have Kansas City after that, but then they got Houston, New Orleans, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, and then Denver, and then Seattle. I mean, those are all winnable games for them. I think until they play the Chargers in December, and then they wrap up they have the rest of their season there. I think Denver is not as good as people think. I think if they can beat Denver at home and then maybe they lose to them on the road, I think that'll be good for them. I think that'll be the toughest game as well as Kansas City in the next 8 games. I don't know where New Orleans is, where their head is at now. Indianapolis doesn't look very good. Jacksonville looks like a tougher game now. They're playing a lot better. Their defense is playing really well. So that might be a tougher game than it looked at when you first look at the schedule. But I just think, I don't know. I just feel like the Raiders are a better team than they've shown. They lost to the Chargers in a close game. They lost to Arizona in overtime. So they were in both of those games. So it's not like they got blown away. It was close games and against good opponents. So I feel like they're going to win. Tennessee, they possibly will win against Denver, and then maybe Kansas City, they lose again, and then maybe they run off a couple of wins after that. So I think they're still in it, and they have I just feel like Cincinnati, their offensive line is just so many issues. Burrow's getting sacked so many times. He was fortunate last year to make the playoffs or to get to the Super Bowl with as many sacks as they gave up. I think Joe Burrow, I don't know if he's going to get hurt. I hope he doesn't get hurt, but he gets hit too many times. And then something bad eventually is going to happen, and I don't know if he's going to get hurt. I hope he doesn't get hurt, but that's a lot. You can't continue to be a good quarterback and get hit that many times. And I just think that starting 0-2, it's going to put a lot more pressure on Burrow, and it's going to put a lot more pressure on the offensive line to perform. And I just feel like he's going to continue to get sacked multiple times per game, and it's gonna eventually catch up to him. And maybe he doesn't get hurt seriously, but remember he gets dinged up where he misses a couple of weeks,
something
like that. I just feel like he's gonna get injured and dinged up.
good for them.
Right. I mean, it's going to end up being like it was for the Colts with Andrew Luck. He was always getting sacked and pummeled, and he eventually retired early because he was just getting beat up so bad. And so that's kind of, I feel like Cincinnati. They started 0-2. They may make a push, but I think you're right. It's either going to be the Bengals or the Raiders, to me, that are able to make the playoffs after starting 0-2. All righty. So, what do you want to go? Let's go to predictions. Yeah, Jerry Jones put up a thing. We can comment it real quick. Let's see if I got it on. I'll cue it up real quick. So Jerry Jones comes out and says this on a show. Let's see if it can you see if
Okay,
can you hear?
wouldn't it be something if you had a
Can you hear it?
Yep, I got you.
Which way you go? You do that if he gets 10 wins. Same thing that happened with Prescott. I think like that.
So you'd want that? You'd want that controversy?
Of course I would.
Okay.
Of course that means we'd won. If it comes in here and played as well as Prescott played, Rush played that well over these next games ahead, I'd walk New York to get that.
Do you think he can do that?
Well, I don't know that, but I would. You can't find on record where I said I thought Dak Prescott could do it when he stepped in and had the chance to do that, but he did it.
Realistically, though, Rush won't have those 10 games. It'll be shorter than that.
Well, of course, we want Dak to be here next week. That's the thing. You do. But Dak and I want Rush to lead a team to a victory here and get another win and get another win. And that's the only way to look at it. Looking back when Dak was playing instead of Tony, it was game by game. It wasn't the long look we had after 2 months to look back. It was actually play by play, almost series by series. So do I think that it's possible for Rush to come in here and play at a level to win games the way Prescott did when he took over for Romo? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I certainly think that's possible.
But is it possible that Cooper could play well enough that when Dak's ready to go, Dak won't go because Cooper's played so well?
Well, it was impossible, ostensibly, that Prescott could play that well and keep Romo out of the championship game. Whenever other team in the tournament had a Rodgers or had a seasoned veteran, excellent quarterback. Nobody went in that year with a rookie, but us.
All right, so it's Jerry Jones being Jerry Jones again. So he's over there talking about he would be okay with a controversy with Cooper Rush playing well, and there'd be a quarterback controversy. What are you thinking here, Canteen?
I mean, you got a good point. Depends, man. Cooper Rush shows up for the next few weeks and really played.
But a controversy?
Really well.
You think if he wins 2 games in a row?
Shoot.
What do you think about Jerry Jones saying he's okay with a QB controversy right now?
I wouldn't go for that. I wouldn't even want that in my organization at all. But what I'm saying is, Cooper Rush and let him go the distance and play, and not rush Prescott to coming back, man. I think we can win.
We can win. We can win. Yeah.
Now he looked good last week. Y'all
Huh?
Y'all host team, Parsons, everybody looked good on the Cowboys, but I don't think organization, man.
Right. We can look good. That's right, baby. We can look good. The Cowboys, baby. That's our new Cowboy fan, Canteen. He's a Cowboy / Falcon fan now. But yeah, so there he is, the Cowboy fan, Carlton Canteen. We're thinking welcome on board. We appreciate Carlton being on the Cowboys. Welcome aboard, Canteen. All right, so my only thing with him is that why do you want a quarterback controversy? You don't want that on your team, man. I mean, to me, Jerry's all about clicks, all about getting headlines and doing all that. So, I mean, I don't know. I wish he'd stop saying this. I don't know. He's the reason that we haven't won in a while. I mean, to be honest. But anyway,
His
so
mouth.
yeah, yeah, he talks too much. He's too involved in the coaching decisions and things like that. So anyway, hopefully we win in spite of Jerry Jones. Hopefully. So anyway, let's talk about these games. The Steelers beat the Browns on Thursday Night Football. Any final thoughts on that game?
It was a good game, man. I really like
Good game.
the Browns. The Browns well put together, man. I think Jacoby,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I really do, and and that's why I said I felt like in that division, I think I can make the playoffs, and I feel like Cincinnati can make a run and come back.
Right. Yeah. No, I kind of agree with you. I mean, the Browns were a good team when Baker was there. They're a good team. You know, even with Jacoby, even though Deshaun Watson's not there yet, Jacoby is a decent quarterback. He's a backup quarterback, but he's a decent. He can win you a few games. He can play pretty good for a little bit. And the Browns have a great running game. They have a really solid defense and a great pass rush with Myles Garrett. You know, and the line that they have. I just think that as long as Jacoby Brissett plays solid football, they can make a little bit of a run and keep themselves in contention until Deshaun Watson comes back.
Comes back. Week 11?
Yeah. 11 or 12, I think. We'll see what happens. I think 11 he comes back and can practice with the team. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. So a couple of few games here that of note. The Lions and the Vikings. Vikings are 7-point favorites at home. We're talking about this game because the Lions actually look pretty good early, and the Vikings are supposed to challenge for the division. So it's a big game for both these teams. What are you thinking on this game, Lions versus the Vikings? It's going to be a big game for both these teams. I think the Detroit Lions can solidify themselves as a solid team if they beat the Vikings there. It's a 6-point favorite, but go ahead. What are you thinking here?
Man, I'm going with Minnesota, man. I think Minnesota has a better team, man. When you look at decent,
right? Mm-hmm.
I mean, so far he's been 50 for 78, 498 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Right.
I think they can utilize Dalvin Cook more, man. He only had 26 carries for 107. That's been so. But their pivotal player to me is Jefferson, 15 receptions, 2 touchdowns. I got to go with Kirk Cousins on this one. I don't trust Goff.
Right.
Jared, but I'm going with Minnesota, bro.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, and I think you make some valid points. I think that the Vikings had a tough out last week when they lost that game, and I told you, I think didn't you pick the Vikings last week? I told you they're going to probably lose that game. Yeah, I think you picked the Vikings last week too. So, but I told you that was going to be a tough game against the Philadelphia Eagles, and because Kirk Cousins doesn't play well in primetime. I mean, I don't know what it is about primetime, but he's like 2-10 now in primetime games. He doesn't play well in those games. I think you're right, but I think the Lions are going to give them I think this might be a field goal game. The Vikings win by a field goal here because I think the Lions have played really well. They played Philadelphia, who everybody's saying is one of the favorites now, not only in the NFC East but in the NFC. Everybody's giving Philadelphia all this praise for how they won last week against the Minnesota Vikings, but the Detroit Lions played them really close and only lost by 3, and then they played Washington really well, and they lost by I think 9 or 11 or 10 points or something like that. But I think that Detroit is actually going to have a decent team. They're going to give them I think they'll lose this game. I think it'll be a close game. It'll be a very entertaining game. I think that the Vikings win this by maybe a field goal. I think the Vikings are able to move the ball a little bit, but the Lions have been pretty solid this year, so I think this will be a close game, a 3-point game for the Vikings. All right, the Titans and the Raiders. This is a big game for both teams because they are both winless. They're both 0-2. Titans are 2-point underdogs at home. What are you thinking here for the Raiders and the Titans?
I'm going with Vegas, man. Vegas 0-2, man. This is like, to me, this is unusual play for them, man. They
right.
Man, but for them to be 0-2, man, and
right.
Carr and Adam got Josh Jacobs, but I don't think Tennessee's gonna do too much this year, man.
Yeah,
they're missing too many pieces, man. After they play Monday night, then they play the Titans, and they play Monday night at Buffalo. Man, they look horrible. They weren't well put together in Buffalo, and Tannehill wasn't doing this thing, and they were feeding the rock to him.
But he doesn't look good.
Who's that?
Henry doesn't look good.
Nah,
Henry.
Look good, man. So I'm gonna go 10 points.
Yeah.
I think they'll cover. Okay. I think they're like 10 points. I'll go with the Raiders on that game, man.
Yeah, the Raiders are only 2-point favorites. You're going to say they win by double digits, huh? Wow. Hey, and I wouldn't be surprised. The Titans have really struggled this year. I mean, I think Henry had like 80-something yards the first game and then like 35 the second game, something like that. It was pretty low output. And I think Tannehill still has a hangover from losing last. They were the number 1 seed last year, and they lost, and he threw some touchdowns in the playoffs. And I think he's got a little bit of a hangover still from last year. They lost to the Giants, and they got blown away by Buffalo. They had a close game against the Giants, which they could have won. But I just feel like Las Vegas is a more talented team. I just feel like they got more on offense than they do. I think it's going to be just a case where Las Vegas is just too much offensively for them. And I don't know if they can't get Derrick Henry going, they have really nothing to go on. They have no play action. They have nothing they can do on offense without Henry. I don't think Tannehill can carry them very far by himself. So you might be right. This might be like a 10-point game for the Raiders.
10-point game.
Yeah, you might be right on that one. So, all right, the Rams and the Cardinals coming in. Both of these teams struggled in their first game, and then they came back and won their second game, even though it was close. In the second game, they came back and kind of redeemed themselves. They're both 1-1. Both these teams were, some people said this might be the Super Bowl. Rams and the Cardinals early before the season started. This could be a Super Bowl matchup, but now both of these teams have struggled their first week, and then the second week they still kind of struggled. Even though the Cardinals pulled out a late game, I think it was overtime. They pulled it out, and the Rams, you guys almost came back and beat them late in that game. So, what are you looking at here with the Rams and the Cardinals?
Man, bro, I gotta go, man. Who did the Cardinals beat? The Cardinals played last. Who did they?
The Cardinals last week?
Yeah.
They played
their schedule.
I got it right here. They played Las Vegas last week. They won in overtime.
That's right. It was because what's name scored the touchdown, then he ended up scoring like a 2-point conversion and all that stuff.
I think it was like a pick six. I think it was a pick six or something like that.
Pick six, yeah, for Arizona.
Yeah.
For a team on this one, I got to go with the Rams, man. I think the Rams are well-versed, better-shaped team. The problem with the Rams, they got to be able to hold a league, man. And the Falcons play decent against.
Right. They made it close at the end.
To me, at this point, the Rams, man, the way they played this year, they don't look like Super Bowl. Like they won a Super Bowl, but they don't look like they're in. You get what I mean? They won it. But they don't look like a team that's been there and look well versed in. I'm gonna go.
What do you think? It's gonna be a good game. The Cardinals are 3.5-point underdogs at home against the Rams. So
I think the Rams by 3. I think the Rams will win.
Rams by 3.
They won't cover the 3.5. Yeah.
Oh, okay. The Rams by 3. Okay. So you think the Cardinals lose at home against the Rams? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. This is it's a tough game to call. I mean, because both teams really need this game. This is a divisional game, within the division. And let's see, this is their first division game. So this would be a close game. I think, I just feel like the Cardinals are going to win this game. I feel like they need to let, Kyler cook. And just let him do his thing, man. I think he wants to be known as a pocket guy, but he's just the guy that runs around and makes plays. I mean, he's talked about how he wants to be known as a passer, but he has to use his legs. That's who he is. That's what makes him exciting. That's what makes him who he is. He's able to run around and make people miss, and he's like I don't know how he does it, but he moves around. He's so fast with his legs that he's able to move around and avoid. He's got good instincts, avoiding tackles and things like that, and to make a big play. I think that the Cardinals will win this game. I think it'll be a close game. This will be like a field goal game, maybe like a they win by 1 or 2 points. I think that this is like a last-second field goal game where the Cardinals pull this out in a close game. That's just kind of my feeling about it, man. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams win, though. This is going to be a good game. Both of these teams really need this early in the season. All right, the Bills and the Dolphins, surprise team. Both 2-0. The Bills have been playing really well. A lot of people picked them as Super Bowl to go to the Super Bowl, and they're looking like they are that kind of team. But no one would think the Dolphins are 2-0. What are you thinking in this game? I mean, the Dolphins have looked pretty good. Can they pull basically the upset? They're 5.5-point underdogs at home. What are you thinking?
Man, I would not underestimate Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill,
man. I think this is gonna be a really what's the spread on this one, man? 5.5. It's probably gonna be
for the Bills. So they're underdogs at home. Basically, Miami's underdogs at home.
Buffalo, they'll cover. They'll squeak by and cover, man.
Really?
It's gonna be tight either way. But we're defense, but their offense is strong too.
Right.
The Dolphins' defense not as good as Buffalo, but they got so many offensive weapons, man. So I'm gonna go.
Right.
And they'll squeak by, man. Somebody's gonna have to lose, and it's a division game, AFC East division game.
Right.
I'm gonna go Bills by 6. Bills by 6 in Miami.
Okay. That makes sense. I think this is going to be a close game early. I think the Bills there seem to be a second half team. I think this will be a close game until halftime. I think the Bills kind of blow them away a little bit at the end. I think they go up and they win by 10 on this game. I think the Dolphins are going to fall behind again in the second half, and they're going to be able to come back again like they did against the Ravens. Those kind of comebacks are just kind of far between. Too few and far between. You can't just come back on every good team. The Ravens were a good team. They came back and beat them. The Bills, I think the Bills defense is pretty solid. They play pretty well. They're good at turning the ball over and making stops. I think the Bills are going to pull away in the second half. This might be something like a 30-20 kind of game where they pull away and then make it, and the Dolphins are trying to come back again and try to make another comeback, but they're going to fall short. I think it's 30-20. Bills win by 10 on this one. All right. Okay. So let's see the Packers and the Bucks. Bucks are at 1 point favorites at home. Bucks are undefeated, but they haven't looked great on offense. They're still missing Chris Godwin. Julio Jones is still out. Plus, Mike Evans is suspended. Rodgers doesn't have Devontae Adams this year anymore, and it has affected the offense. Our offense has struggled at times with these new receivers. He does a couple of veterans, but he's been sacked 7 times this season already. So what are you thinking here as far as the Bucks and playing at home against the Packers and Aaron Rodgers? This will be a big game. This is probably the big game of the week.
So right. Man, you just said, man, you had Julio Jones won't play. Leonard Fournette's probably not gonna play.
Right. Leonard Fournette should be there. I don't think Godwin's not playing, and Evans is suspended. Leonard Fournette should play.
He's questionable right now. Fournette
is he
questionable and Perriman questionable. Then you look at Randall Cobb questionable. Christian Watson questionable.
Yeah.
Man, this game, I think this game is gonna be a garbage game. Garbage
game. Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be trash, man. Got too many injuries on both sides of the.
Okay, so the offense is gonna look ugly. Both offenses.
It's gonna look ugly. I'll say Green Bay can edge out and beat Tampa Bay at home tomorrow. Got to get it going, man. They didn't even get much going down in New Orleans, man. They didn't look good in New Orleans, man. So I think Green Bay will squeak by and win.
Okay.
It'll be a close game across the board, man. Especially with them playing at home at Lambeau. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going Green Bay at home, man.
They're not playing at home. They're playing in Tampa.
Yeah. Green Bay on the road.
Yeah.
Green Bay on the road, they'll win.
Okay. I kind of agree with you. I think the Bucs are missing too much on offense. I didn't know Fournette would be out. He may still play, but I know they're missing Godwin and they're missing Julio Jones and Mike Evans. They got too much missing on offense. I think it's just too much for the offense to overcome. Their defense has played really well though. They've been pretty solid, so I think they're going to hold the Packers down a little bit, especially since the Packers have a lot of young players. Plus, they have just some veterans that Sammy Watkins and who's the other cat that they have? Green Bay.
Randall Cobb.
Randall Cobb, who's somebody
Christian Watson.
Yeah. Randall Cobb is a guy that Aaron Rodgers likes to depend on, So, but they're older guys. They're not going to get separation they need. I think they're going to get some pressure on. Aaron's been sacked 7 times already, so the offensive line needs to get short up a little bit. So I think that's going to keep it close. The fact that the Bucs defense is really good, it's played really well this year. I still think the Packers win this one. I think it'll probably be a close game. It'll probably be something like 20-17. I think the Packers win this 20-17 in a late win for the Packers. All right, the Eagles and the Commanders. The Commanders is the Les's team. We'll go ahead and talk about it. They're 6.5-point underdogs at home against the Eagles. Wentz hasn't looked too bad this year, and he's going back to play his old team. The Eagles have looked dominant, especially last week against the Vikings, who have had some they were challenging for a division, so the Vikings are supposed to be a good team. They have a common opponent, the Lions. The Commanders lost. The Eagles barely beat the Lions. The Lions look like a better team this year, but of course, the Commanders lost to them. The Eagles beat them in a close one. What are you looking at here? The Eagles at the Commanders. Commanders are 6.5-point underdogs at home. What are you thinking here?
Man, the Eagles are they're a threat. They're powerful. They got a lot of weapons. They're well put together. Man, they're able to utilize A.J. Brown in such a way. Man, it's going to be a close game. It's a division game. It's going to be close.
Right.
Cover. I don't think the Eagles will cover. It's going to be a back and forth type of dog
I like that.
fight.
I like that.
Eagles by 3 at FedEx.
Eagles by 3.
Eagles by 3.
Eagles by 3. Yeah. Wow. FedEx tomorrow. I gotta agree with you. This is one of those games that's kind of a rivalry. It's within the division. They both need this. Like I said, they both have a common opponent against the Lions, and they both play close. So that says a lot. I think the Eagles' defense is okay. The Commanders' defense is okay. It's going to come down Wentz versus Hurts. Wentz has played pretty solid this year. I think he's been pretty good. I mean, he's going to want to come out, and I think the Commanders are going to rally around Wentz. He wants to go back to Philly and win. Hurts is the guy who took his job, basically. He took Wentz's job and got him out of Philadelphia. I think they'll rally around Hurts, around Wentz a little bit, and he's played well this year. I think I'm going to say an upset that the Commanders bring the Eagles back down to earth, and the Commanders win this game by 3. They surprise people. The Eagles come back to earth a little bit. Everybody's putting them in the Super Bowl, or some people were putting them in the Super Bowl. I think they come back and beat them in a close game, hard-fought game. The Commanders win this game by 3, something like 23-20.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So even though you're a Cowboys fan, we still got to cover the Falcons because that's in your heart, deep down, you still got the Falcons in there. So we're going to go ahead and do the Falcons at the Seahawks. It's a pick'em game right now, I believe. Both teams haven't looked great, though the Seahawks beat the Broncos early. That was, Geno Smith hasn't looked good ever since then. He didn't look good against the 49ers. The Falcons are 0-2. Both were close losses, losing 26-27, and then to the Saints 31-27. So you lost. You're 0-2, but they were both very close. What are you thinking here for your old team, the Falcons?
Man. I mean, it's kind of sad at this point to see Atlanta failed the way they fell, 0-2.
Right.
Mariota ain't had a bad man.
Right.
37, 52 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Right.
They don't know how to use the receiver and a slot and all this stuff, man. London, Patterson. I would say their first win tomorrow.
Okay.
It's gonna be close. It's gonna be a close, probably squeak by 3, possibly. I'll say 17-20. It won't be a high scoring game.
Okay.
They're not clicking like
Let's see.
that, man. You know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think you're selling your team a little short. They've actually played pretty decent defense, especially late, and then the second half, the Atlanta Falcons have played pretty good defense. And actually, Mariota has not looked too bad. He's got, of course, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but he has 411 yards on the year. He's also run for 88 yards and run in for a touchdown. I think Geno Smith, he played well in that first game. It was really in the first half of the Broncos. The second half of the Broncos game, he didn't look very good. And then in the 49ers, he didn't look very good. I think you've got a better quarterback right now in Mariota than Geno Smith. I think Mariota is a better quarterback. I think that's going to make the difference in this game. I think that you guys pull out. I think you guys win this by 10. I think you guys are going to
What?
feel yourself, I think you're going to feel good about yourself after this game, saying, hey, we played a great game. You guys win something like, I'm going to say 27-17. You guys pull it out, and you show a little bit of light, a little bit of glimmer. I think Geno Smith is going to continue to be Geno Smith again. And I think and Denver was ever to go up and down the field against the Seahawks. They just happen to have those 2 fumbles down at the goal line, or else I think they would have lost that game too. So I think you guys win this game 27-17. I think you guys surprise people and win this game by a good little margin.
We'll see, man.
We'll see. All right.
Oh, my God.
All right.
Georgia,
So
they're struggling, bro.
They're struggling? Uh-oh. Hey, we're watching that
3 to
Georgia game.
12.
They're struggling. 3-12. Uh-oh. That's not good.
Red, bro. 45.
Right. Oh, man. Oh, well. Yeah, you guys will pull away. I think it'd be all right. You guys will be all right. All right, so now it's our Dallas Cowboys. Our Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Football Giants on Monday Night Football. That's the game to watch on Monday night. We're going to probably do a pregame maybe on that game, talk about it a little more, but kind of give our general prediction today as far as the Giants are 1-point favorites at home. So they're actually a little bit of an underdog because usually you get 3 points at home no matter what. But you're playing in Rutherford, New Jersey against the Cowboys Monday Night Football. What are you thinking here as far as our Cowboy team versus the Giants? We still got Cooper Rush, so.
Man, this is a huge test, man.
Yeah,
it's a big test, man. Man, when I look at that Daniel Jones numbers,
division game,
good.
Right.
Division game, his number playing pretty good ball. Man, for the Cowboys, it's gonna be a close one. I'm on this one, bro.
Okay.
Depends on who strikes first, man.
Okay.
Strikes first, man.
Okay.
It's gonna go down to the wire, man. Oh, Kent State just scored. Oh, no way.
Uh-oh. Man, y'all can't struggle here, man. Y'all blow them away. I think you guys will be all right.
Man, they just scored. It's like, what, 9?
Yeah. You'll be all right. It'll be close.
But
yeah, go ahead.
It depends on who strikes first in that Dallas game, man.
Right. Yeah.
Now, your counterparts. Now, it's a lot. It's a lot of implications. Commanders to beat the Eagles, right? Right. Commanders beat the Eagles.
Right.
To beat you all in that division.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
beat us, sir.
Us.
Beat us. There you go. Embrace it, baby.
Man, us. It's gonna be tight, man. It's gonna be a close game. That's gonna be close. Like I said, depends on who strikes first.
What are you thinking though? Who's gonna win? You can make a call.
Cowboys squeak by about 3.
Okay, I like it.
This ain't gonna be no blowout game.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think this will be a close game. I mean, this is a rivalry game. The only thing gives me pause, I think Cooper Rush overall is a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has done okay this year. He hasn't played too bad for Daniel Jones. He's played pretty good this year, but he's still Daniel Jones. I mean, he's the same guy he's been for the last few years. If you think about it, they squeaked by the Tennessee Titans, who we say are down this year, right? They barely beat the Titans, right? They barely beat the Carolina Panthers, who we think is not very good this year, who hasn't had a victory. So I'm thinking that, they had a kind of fortunate that they played those two teams early on. Those are not great teams. Tennessee coming in looked like a great team, but now they don't look like they're so great. It doesn't,
Right.
Derrick Henry has struggled. Carolina's not a great team. They got Baker, and he's pretty good, but that team overall is not a good team, and they barely squeaked by those teams. I think Cooper Rush has looked good. I think Cooper Rush has another good game in him. And I think they need to rely on Elliott and Pollard as far as running the ball. I think he's going to have a little more connection with Lamb, having another week of practice with CeeDee Lamb. And then, of course, Noah Brown is kind of his go-to guy. They were both on the practice squad together. So he's got a connection with Noah Brown. So Noah Brown may have another good game. Again, I think if they rely on the run, we have a really good defense this year. I think that's what's going to carry us in this game. I think we keep it close early on. I think we end up winning this game. I'm going to say this might be like a 10-point game. I don't know why. I just have a feeling this could be a 10-point game. I think they struggled to beat bad teams. We played the Buccaneers and we played the Bengals, two teams that were really good. I think the Bengals are still good. They've had a couple unfortunate things happen to them, but the Bucs are still good. They have a great defense. I think we have a better defense than the Giants, and I think we have a slightly better offense than the Giants. And I think we can hold Daniel Jones down. And I think we're going to win this game. I'm going to go a 10-point game. I'm going to say something like 26-16. 26-16, we win this game. Pulling away late in the game to win 26-16 against the Giants there. It'll be a close game throughout, though. I think it'll be close. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little closer than that, but I'm going to say 26-16, the Cowboys. And Cooper Rush has another solid game, and we rely on our defense and the run game to pull out this game in New Jersey. All right, man, that's it, man. We had a big show today, man. A lot of stuff going on. But, yeah, man, any final thoughts on today? I mean, we're going to do Monday Night Football, but, man, it was a big show. I didn't think we were going to go this long. I was thinking about leaving some stuff out, but, man, I just wanted to get through everything,
No, it was good, man. And then it was a good show, man. We'll have a lot of footage to cover tomorrow, man.
Right.
Get a lot of good data for tomorrow, man. Might be ready to rock and roll, bro.
Yeah, I'll turn it down a little bit. There you go. Yeah, man. Be ready for Monday night. We're going to do a Monday night special. Wrap up the season. The week for the NFL. Y'all score?
Stu missed.
You guys will pull out. You guys better not lose this game, man. Come on. Yeah. So anyway, that's it. We're wrapping it up. Appreciate you joining this kind of a long show today. We're going to come out here and just come out here and do a little football, man. We're trying to condense it next time, man. This is a good show, though. I think we had a lot of good content.
Good show, man.
I hope you guys enjoy this. Repeat. If you see it on the replay, just share, comment. I still go in there, look at the comments. If you guys comment afterwards, we thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all our members and everything, man. You guys are great. Appreciate you so much. We'll see you next time on The Bottom Line.
All right, bro.
That's Canteen the Cowboy Lover. Yes.
I'll see you Monday night, bro.
All right, we'll see you Monday night.
All right.